So, if you guys didn't see the last video on literally the world's cleanest second gen, you should probably watch it, because today we are taking this truck all the way back apart and taking it off the powder coat, which is crazy because I literally finished the lift yesterday. This thing drives amazing, and now within 12 hours of finishing the lift, it's already coming all back apart, getting powder coated. It's going to be sick, and I am like super stoked to see how this truck turns out when the time comes to put it all back together. So right now we are headed to the shop. We're gonna back this truck in and start tearing it down, and hopefully the powder coat happens like by the end of the day today. And actually, no, that's not realistic. Hopefully the powder coat comes back in like 2 days. No, that's not realistic. Anyways, you guys get the point. I'm like completely geeked to see how it turns out. I know it'll look amazing, but it's always like a different feeling when you go to pick up your powder coated stuff and just seeing the color on your parts, and then coming back and putting them all on the truck. I know when I built my mega cab lift, I was like, okay, this is cool. Then I powder coated it all and put it on. I was like, damn, this thing fucks. And now we're doing that with this truck. So, oh, it's not a 6-speed, it's definitely a 5-speed. I keep doing that, I keep on wanting to go into race mode, and it usually stalls the truck. It was funny because yesterday I was driving it and I went to back up and I'm like, dude, there ain't no way this thing has no reverse. And it just died out. I was like, oh, it's not a 6-speed, it's a 5-speed. I'm just so used to my big truck being a 6-speed to where this one doesn't make any sense. But I'm getting sidetracked, and we are now headed back to the shop like I was saying. We are going to get this thing all tore apart, and it should go pretty smoothly. Just got the truck back into the shop. We have it all sitting right where we wanted to take it apart for powder coat, and I cannot wait to get this thing stripped back down and get everything off the powder coat because I'm ready to see color on it. But we're gonna throw the front and the rear on stands. I'm going to start with taking out the front arms, the cradle, the traction bars, and then we'll disassemble the axles and get the rear blocks and U-bolts off the rear, because we're not gonna powder coat the rear axle because that is freshly powder coated, it's just dusty. So we'll clean that off. It'll look brand new, and then we'll load everything up onto a pallet, take it to the powder coat shop, and drop it off. Got the silver truck front end almost all the way out of the truck. Right now we're working on getting the front axle drained out of it. I just got the calipers off of it, the rotors, the spacers, and now we are working on getting everything off the axle that we can while it's still hanging on the truck. I have to take the hubs off of it really quick, get the axle shafts out, drop the knuckles, pull the old ball joints out of the axle, take the gears out, take the pinion out, and then get the seals out of it, and then take this axle, set it on this pallet, and then we'll be ready to take that front axle to powder coat. And then the rear end will only take us about 15-20 minutes to take apart. It'll honestly take longer to get the truck up on stands and find the right tools to take off the U-bolts and stuff. But we're gonna keep on working at this, and yeah, I'm getting really excited. The only sad part is that now this truck is not drivable, which is unfortunate because it's very fun to drive. Alrighty, we just got the whole entire silver truck all disassembled. We have to get that stuff off the powder coat, but right here we have everything that is not getting sent off, all of the Heim joints and bolts, the gears for the front axle, coilovers, axle shafts, hubs, rotors, and spacers are staying here. We got everything off the truck right now. Over here we have a whole pallet of good stuff to take to the powder coater and the stuff that is wrapped in saran wrap is one color, and then the stuff that is not wrapped is another color. You guys could probably already guess what color it's going, being that the truck is blue and silver. So I'll leave that there. We're getting ready to load that up into the back of my truck, take that for a little ride, drop that off. We have to go pick up tubing for another build, and we have to go drop off a drive shaft for this build. So we got a busy day. Well, surprise, powder coat's back. You guys may be asking yourself where it's at because it's not in my bed, but good thing we have a flatbed now, and we have like the ultimate truck to haul anything. Goosenecks, fuel, four-wheelers, dirt bikes, tools, and the best part is powder coat. So we have the whole lift scattered inside of these boxes for that beautiful silver truck that has been sitting in the corner for about a month now. And right there, we have that pallet on the ground. That was inside the back of it, but I was smart and took it out before I backed it in with the Bobcat. So we have that, and we have a bunch of stuff right here that is all powder coated. We got U-bolts, traction bar brackets, sway bar brackets, more U-bolts. We powder coated the washers for the U-bolts. We have the tie rod. Yeah, this is the tie rod. A drag link, pen hard bar, one of the front control arms, two more front control arms, traction bars, another traction bar, another control arm, and I think this box is empty. Okay, to the other side. And in here we have everything else. Front drive shaft yoke, front sway bar clamps, upper coilover / reservoir mount, these steering knuckles. Yes, everything got powder coated, I know. One rear block because I accidentally forgot the other block of the powder coater, so he's bringing that to us. Steering box brace, front sway bar links, and not one coilover spring, but two coilover springs that I literally almost forgot about. In my back seat. The front sway bar, this would not fit inside the toolboxes, so we opted out to put this one inside the back seat of the truck. By back seat, I mean behind my seat. Now today is the day that this truck is going to get put back together. We also have a box of parts for it, like the rebuildable ball joints, new hubs, new axle seals, brand new brake lines are on it already, new rotors, everything. What we're going to do now is unwrap the cradle, the axles, and the coilover mounts. Get the cradle back on the frame, get the dummy shocks on it with the coilover mounts, get the axle hanging. We'll build everything inside the axle, throw it all together, and we'll be driving this thing by the end of this video. So we just got all of the powder coated stuff out of the saran wrap. The only thing we didn't take out of the wrap is the tubing, because I like to take all the arms, put them on the truck with that wrap on them just so they don't get dirty or scratch. Then we peel that off once the truck is all back together. But the first thing we are going to do is get the upper coilover mounts bolted into the frame, get those secured. We will then get the cradle on the truck. Then we will hang the dummy shocks off the upper mounts. We'll hang that axle, hook up the control arms. That way the axle is solid underneath the truck. We will then probably install the knuckles with the ball joints. We'll get the hubs, everything all ready to go onto it. Then we have to put new seals in the front axle, because obviously when you powder coat axle, you gotta take them all the way apart. If you don't, they will leak and they just look like crap. So new seals in the axle, new ball joints inside the axle, and we have new hubs, blah, 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 all that stuff for it. Axle shafts to go into it. And then this thing, I cannot wait to see it on the ground, because when I test drove it, this thing drove literally amazing. Like for a second gen, it drove like a fourth gen, which is actually crazy. Steering was really tight. It rode amazing, and was not like you were driving a 25-year-old truck. So let's get the cradle on the frame and get these upper mounts into the frame, and then we'll get that axle hung, and we're one step closer to getting this truck back driving. This thing looks completely different with the powder coated parts back on it. And definitely the mirror faceplates set this thing apart, because at first we were doing just regular steel faceplates to powder coat them. And then we were like, yeah, it needs the mirror faceplates. Once the wheels are polished, that'll look amazing, because I'll have like a polished wheel, then a polished faceplate, then a polished wheel, and like all around the truck be able to see polished parts of it. So what we have to do now though is get the truck started up, because the batteries are obviously dead. It's a second gen. The batteries die when they sit for longer than a week. Blah, blah, blah. But that suspension literally turned out amazing. We still have to hang that one rock light back up because it was kind of in the way of the steering box brace we put on it. And then he is working on getting that brake line hung up on that side. We got this one done. Just got to plug in this ABS wire, take off the shock tag. That's still on there. Back here, we got the cradle on, obviously, traction bars on. Custom sway bar links that bolt into the factory sway bar and into the factory frame mount. Blocks, axle brackets, got the shocks back on back here. Brake lines are all on. We got new hardware on all the brakes because, you know, we want this truck to stop. And a nice, smooth moving caliper is definitely needed when you have these monstrous tires on it. Brand new 5-inch drive shaft. The old one wasn't long enough for the lift, but we got a new one made. So once that gets polished out, that'll look sweet too. Over here, oh, you just got that one done. So over here, we have this brake line hooked up. And now we just have to check all the bolts, get all the jam nuts tight, get the brakes bled, and we will fire this thing up and get this thing out of the shop. Damn, this thing looks sick on the daylight. Jeez. Well, everything's tight. All the brakes are bled, steering's bled. That PSC gearbox literally turned those things on the concrete like nothing. What do you say, take it on a test ride? You don't speak to the camera? No? Okay. Yeah, look how filthy that thing is. Got like an inch of dust on it. So we gotta go knock the dust off of it. So, yeah, let's take it for a test ride. So if you guys didn't watch the video when I first test drove this truck by finishing the lift, I showed everything I'm going to show right now, and this truck drives absolutely amazing. So with those CJC off-road ball joints, the PSC steering box, yes, PSC steering box, crossover steering, full forward link, coilovers, blah, 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 a whole monstrosity of a lift kit. This truck honestly drives better than a stock second gen, and I've drove second gens, bone stock, all original, low miles, that drive perfect, and this thing drives way better than it. So obviously the steering wheel is a little bit to the right because it does need an alignment, and I guess when you buy these CJC removable ball joints, they have like a break-in period, so right now it feels stiff, but once the ball joints get moving and get all the grease pushed around them, it will loosen up a little bit when you turn. But I mean, you really can't complain. This thing drives better than my Mega Cab. My Mega Cab drives perfect. So we are spinning the block right now. I do want to get this thing washed at some point because it is covered with dust. And yeah, it's been sitting in the shop for the last 2 months. And we finally got time to get it put back together. So we are now riding around. And I keep forgetting it's a 5-speed because I'm used to my 6 speeds. And sometimes you just accidentally go into race mode, and you'll be doing 80 miles an hour on the highway, and the next thing you know, you're in reverse doing 50. So if you look in the mirror, she is a little smoky one. It makes like 1,200 horsepower, but obviously we don't rip the 1,200 horsepower because last thing we want to do is blow the tires off this thing because the tires are like brand new. And yeah, let's get the lift broken in first and get some miles on this thing, and then possibly it might do a burnout. Just got back to the shop with the truck, and we got this thing rinsed off, and by we I mean my little brother got it all rinsed off, and you can actually now see the color of the truck, and it looks a lot better with an inch of dust off of it. So the next thing we have to do to it though is get like the wheels polished, get a complete 100% detail done to it, And I think that's about it for this build. So, yeah, it turned out sweet. Oh, alignment. We got to get an alignment too. But yeah, it turned out sweet. And I honestly cannot wait to have it aligned and wheels polished, this thing all shined up. And then I'll really get to see like the end outcome with it. But we got to go in the shop because I have one more thing I want to do before this video ends with my 3rd gen, because the interior lights are like not it. And they're like yellow factory bulbs. So obviously you guys know I bought this cabin chassis about a week and a half ago. I have been doing some stuff to it. We did the window tint, LED headlights. We did the new bed on it, the tank, changed out the seats on the inside. But you know, these factory bulbs right here just are not cutting it anymore. So Last Fit sent us out some LED bulbs for this. It should make it look a lot better in my opinion. Just gonna pop this bulb out, pop that bulb out, and it's probably hot, so yeah, get this out of here, get this one out of here. One bulb in. Now we can take the second one, and we now have LED bulbs inside of it. Yeah, that changed the whole entire brightness factor of the interior. I can actually see inside of here now, and I'm sure at nighttime it'll be a lot better. But compared to your Amazon bulb, the Last Fit ones work 100 times better. These lights come with a 1-year warranty, and they have a CAN bus built into them, so there's no air, they don't flicker, and they properly function with your vehicle. So huge shout out to Last Fit for sending out those LED bulbs for this truck. But with all of that being said, that is going to end today's video. We have a lot of stuff going on at the shop, and we now have one more spot inside of the shop to do another project that I cannot wait to share with you guys. So be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Tell your mom, your girlfriend, your whoever it may be that I uploaded. And I'll see you guys in the next one.